What's up guys? Today I bring you a straightforward comparison between the Poco F4 GT versus the Poco F4. What are the main differences between these two smartphones? Let's find out, shall we? So first of all, the design and feel. You can see they look quite similar in size, but the design is quite different. We have a kind of matte finish versus reflective finish. I believe they both have a glass back. At least it does feel like glass. But the F4 has a more plasticky feel to it, with a plastic frame going all the way around, and the F4 GT feels like a metal frame going all the way around with metal buttons, and it even has more weight to it, so 210 grams versus 195 grams, 8.5 millimeters in thickness versus 7.7 millimeters in thickness. Now let's very quickly compare the ports. At the bottom of both devices you can see a loudspeaker, a Type-C port, a single microphone, and the F4 has its dual 5G SIM card tray. And on the side of the phones, if we compare, you can see the F4 has nothing on this side, and the F4 GT has its dual 5G SIM tray. We've got some antenna lines, a volume rocker, and a secondary microphone. And at the top of both smartphones, we have an IR blaster, single speaker, and a single microphone. Now on this side, the F4 model first of all has a volume rocker and a power button, which also has a fingerprint sensor built in. And the GT model also has a power button with fingerprint sensor built in, and you've got these pop-up triggers and two slide switches to open and close the triggers. Now both phones feature a 6.67 inch 120 Hz AMOLED display, both Full HD Plus with 395 pixels per inch. Both support 10-bit HDR10+ with a similar 800 and 900 typical screen brightness. Now other differences to mention, we have Liquid 3.0 versus Liquid 2.0. So we have a newer cooling technology in the GT model, and we have Gorilla Glass Victus versus Gorilla Glass 5. 4700 mAh battery versus 4500 mAh battery, 120 watt hypercharge versus 65 watt hypercharge, and both chargers are included in the box. You're also getting quad stereo speakers versus dual speakers. Both support ATMOS, but the GT model also supports high-res audio and high-res audio wireless certifications. Now both smartphones are powered by Snapdragon chips. The GT model has the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, and the F4 model has the Snapdragon 870. 4nm Octacore versus 7nm Octacore, with slightly different clock speeds, so 3 GHz versus 3.2 GHz. Both have LPDDR5 RAM and UFS 3.1 storage, but yes, the GT model comes with double the RAM and double the storage. Neither phones have a MicroSD card slot, but they both support dual 5G SIM cards. Alright, so time to quickly check out the cameras. So both have 64 megapixel primary, 8 megapixel ultra wide, and 2 megapixel macro. And I believe for the first time, these Poco phones come with optical image stabilization. So you can actually shoot smooth looking 4K video at 60 FPS. And here are a few side-by-side samples for you to check out. here you can see DRM Info shows Google Widevine Level 1 certification on both phones. If we open up CPU-Z, you can check out the clock speeds. And you can see Adreno 730 versus Adreno 650. And here is some info on the Android version and root status, etc. Now let's compare the benchmarks, and you can see here Geekbench 5 results. The F4 GT has achieved a multi-core score of 3650 versus 3285 and single core score of 1182 versus 984. And a quick look at Antutu benchmark test, version 9.40 on both. The F4 GT scores 932K versus 669K. So no doubt the Poco F4 GT has a more powerful chipset, and the benchmark results do reflect the same. You can also see the starting temperatures before we started the benchmarks: 28.8 degrees starting and 34.6, and after the benchmark test the GT model was at 40 degrees versus 39 degrees. Alright, so we're just going to move on to some gaming, starting off with comparing the COD graphics settings. So this is the F4 GT model. You can see the maximum graphics settings right there, very high and max. And if we compare that to the F4 model, we have exactly the same maximum options there, very high and max. So let's very quickly check out some gameplay.
Target down. Target's inside. Target's inside. Get down. Sniper. Good job.
So we are now testing out some gameplay on the F4 model. So of course the F4 model doesn't have triggers, so we're going to be using the touchscreen.
Contact with enemy. Target's inside. Target down. Changing mag. I'm hurt. Contact with enemy. Tango down. Tango advised. Hostile hunter-killer drone inbound. We're capturing B. Contact with enemy. I'm hurt. Target captured B. Predator missile awaiting orders. Enemy contact. Target's inside. Captured Bravo. Target down. Contact with enemy. Lost Bravo. Enemy contact. Headshot. Enemy sentry advised. Hostile sentry gun spotted. Enemy sentry gun has been destroyed. Enemy down. Contact. Captured B. Enemy contact. Target down. Missile on standby. Predator missile inbound. Target's inside. Contact with enemy.
So you can tell I play this game a lot because I achieved MVP in both phones, with triggers or without triggers, it doesn't matter. Alright, so I'm also going to be checking out the COD graphics settings, and again we have exactly the same options. So maximum graphics supported Ultra HD and maximum frame rate Ultra. So quick gameplay test. This is the GT version first of all, and the person running in front of me is actually the other phone. So I'll keep track of him. We haven't got any weapons, but we're just having a look at graphics test, and we are already being shot at. I think we're walking directly into the arms of danger. Yep, we are. Let's see if we can change the route, otherwise I won't be able to do this test. Let's go that way, and you just follow him. So doing a very quick graphics test. So both games look and play equally good. Both are smooth and fast. We've got the same frame rate, same graphics, same performance basically. So there you have it, guys. That was my quick comparison of the Poco F4 GT versus the Poco F4. I hope this video gave you a good idea of the main differences between these phones. Please hit the like button if you appreciate the efforts. Meanwhile, if you've got any questions, do let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.